Hi, guys. Welcome back to the Shamic podcast. I am so excited because in this episode, I'm going back to a studio. And so that means that I can record with my other comic friends. And today I have someone who is very near and dear to my heart.
That's not true.
Well, we have a lot of history. So Rob Pugliese, who is my old roommate.
Hello.
Anyway, so Rob is coming on the podcast today because I obviously need to save his soul.
Yeah, that's what needs to happen.
Yeah. Why don't you, were you religious or anything like growing up when you were a kid?
No, I was never baptized. I still got original sin, baby.
But like your parents weren't religious whatsoever?
Nah.
So you grew up with nothing?
We had love.
So when was like the first time, like when did you first hear about God or like when did you first like?
My dad grew up Catholic. He's Italian. My mom's Irish. She, I think, grew up Catholic too, but they didn't do that for us. They let us decide. But when you would say "God damn," that was the first time I found out about God, and my dad would say, "You can't say that."
How old were you?
I don't know, like 6, maybe.
Okay, and then like, what did you ever have friends who were like religious or?
Not religious, no, nothing like significantly religious. Most kids I'm from Connecticut in the Northeast, and most people go to fucking communion. Is that what that's called? Or confirmation? Yeah. But nobody believed in anything. There was no, faith.
Right. So like, you didn't go to church. You didn't grow up like that or anything.
No.
Okay.
The first time I found faith, Limp Bizkit.
You're so stupid.
Why? You gotta have it.
No.
You gotta have faith.
I love Limp Bizkit.
Okay.
Limp Bizkit saved my life in middle school.
Yeah?
Okay. Yeah.
That backwards hat, really?
Oh, I used to pretend to be one
light?
I used to pretend to be one of the girls in the music video. I would like borrow my
Shake your ass or something?
No, they don't shake their ass. They're angry. They're punching fists.
Oh.
I would take his khakis because I don't have khakis. I would take my stepbrother's khakis, and then I would like wear like a red hat and a black T-shirt, and I would just like yell at the mirror, and I was like, I could be in this music video.
Mm-hmm.
Break stuff. Have you ever seen it?
Sure.
It's amazing.
I get it.
Anytime I hear the guitar riff, there's like an inner like white woman that comes out of me, and I'm like, I'm gonna fucking hurt somebody.
Yeah, you have white man anger. I like that.
Yeah.
That's what happened periodically throughout my high school years is we would all be drinking and then the Limp Bizkit Gotta Have Faith song would come on at a party.
Yeah.
And everybody would sing it and I would feel so sad looking at everything.
Looking at them or looking at life?
Looking at them and life and being like, I gotta get the fuck out of here.
Why would you be sad?
Because I'm too cool for that. Way too cool.
But like too cool to listen to Limp Bizkit, or did you realize that everybody's life was like?
Well, this was like later when those kids were still listening to it. Like late high school and after high school.
Gotcha. So did you? Okay, so the first time, have you ever had like a experience that was either like spiritual or magical or coincidental or unexplainable that you're like, dude, there's got to be something?
Is this the whole thing? We talk about this stuff?
I mean, we'll talk about whatever I want, but yeah.
I'm just asking.
Yeah, we talk about a lot about this stuff.
Yeah, I did a bunch of acid. We did drugs really young, so I started doing acid when I was 13. And I took a bunch one time when I had a cast on my leg. I broke my ankle because I was drunk.
Yeah.
I'm a fucking degenerate. Whatever. I tell that to people out here, and they're like, what is wrong with you?
Yeah,
like
because you had a good life, right?
Yeah. But nobody understands there's nothing to do. So we all just got super fucked up super young. And people out here didn't do that because they like surfed or... Yeah.
They had sunshine.
Yeah.
So I feel like that makes a difference.
Sunshine's a big part of it. Or they had like a Jeep Wrangler with no top. They would drive to the beach.
Yeah. How could you not be happy?
I know. So we did drugs young. And I took acid once when I was 14 and I had a broken ankle. And the thing with acid that's fucked up is you can take one tab. I'd taken it before and it never really did too much. But acid, like, you can't quantify how much is on it because it takes like 1/1000th of a milligram.
And sometimes it's double dipped. Yeah.
Yeah. So you don't know how much is on it. And I took one tab and it was like a white tab, which is not supposed to be a lot.
Mm-hmm.
And I was, have you ever heard Tool?
The band Tool? Yeah. Yeah, of course.
Do you know that song called Third Eye? And it's got, what's his name in the beginning? What's his fucking name? The comedian. Whatever. It's like this really trippy beginning Bill Hicks.
I was going to say, yeah.
And we sat in a room, 8 of us, silent, and listened to that for 4 hours on repeat.
Wow.
And then when I left, I was like, oh, I'm out of my fucking mind. And I had a terrible trip, and I went home, And
but when you had a terrible trip, why? Because you had anxiety or you're panicking, or were you like visually seeing things?
I was not visually seeing anything. But it was just like a very hard, like, you know, reality is distorted feeling that I hadn't experienced before. And I don't know. I had anxiety. I was like, I was 14, so I had to like go home to my mom, and she was yelling at me because I was late.
Yeah.
I was just panicking. And I had a cast on my leg, and I was trying to rip the cast off. But whatever. So I didn't. And then
Did a lot of friends sign your cast?
yeah.
Okay.
I mean, mostly
one kid broke
racial slurs, but
yeah. Oh, perfect.
One kid what?
He broke his leg, and like only 2 people like signed his thing, and it was really
Aw.
sad. Yeah.
Did you sign it?
Yeah.
Did you?
Yeah.
Oh, good for you.
Yeah.
Was he ugly or something?
He had glasses, so I feel like that's.
Isn't that funny how in high school that's all it
Yeah.
took to be a loser?
Dude, I had glasses, and I thought my life was over. Like I
Yeah.
remember in 5th grade, I got. I was in 5th grade. No, I was in 3rd grade, and they told me that I had to wear glasses. And I was like, well, I guess I'm an ugly person now.
Guess I kill myself.
Yeah. I used to pretend to lose my, because I was like, well, if I just lose them, then I don't have to wear them. So I would like leave them out in the hallway because I had like the big, thick ones. And my
really?
teacher would be like, Monterey, did you leave your glasses outside again? I'm like, damn it. Like, why do they keep finding them?
Are you like blind without him?
Oh yeah, I'm like I'm legally blind at night. Like I
Really?
can't, yeah, like I can't. It just looks like fireworks is what I try to tell people. Like all the lights
Yeah.
are all just blended together, and it just looks like giant like fireworks. And I'm like, this is terrifying.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, high school is dumb. That's literally the only time in life that it matters that you're cool.
Yeah. Well,
All that matters is being cool. In life, what matters is having money.
yeah, but it still matters if you're cool now.
No, it doesn't.
Well,
Jeff Bezos is the biggest dork in the world.
right. But what I'm saying is a lot of people, that's why social media is a whole thing, because people still reflect on it to be like, oh, this is how I establish, or like, this is how I like validate that I'm cool, is by how many people follow me, how many likes I get, like how awesome my life looks in pictures. Like that's still, it wouldn't be a thing if
I guess, yeah, but it's like in high school, you want to be the coolest guy, and in medical school, you do not want to be the coolest guy.
right.
If you're the coolest guy in medical school, you're failing medical school.
Yeah. You're taking all of the drugs.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's the least important thing.
But I think that's like, it's funny because I always say too, I'm like, what we value as like cool is just so, everything's backwards. Like people will be like, if you're like, oh, I'm not drinking today, people will be like, oh, okay, loser. But if you're like, oh, you know, you're just taking shots. Everybody's like, Monterey.
Yeah.
I'm like, why is it like if I damage myself and do things that I know is like harmful and just, you know, only going to make me feel like shit? Like, why do people like love that? Like,
I know.
versus.
I was trying to do a joke about that because I've been sober for 10 years. And
Yeah.
the problem with getting sober is that there's no one to look up to. Like
Yeah.
when you're doing drugs and drinking, there's like
Russell
Jimmy
Brand.
Page and Russell Brand.
Russell Brand.
That's your one guy.
He's got
But
one.
there's no cool, like there needs to be like a cool fucking like rock god
Yeah.
that's like sober, but that'll never happen.
Yeah. They
So.
usually die.
I forgot. Oh, well, anyway, so I took acid and that was fucked up, right?
Yeah.
It was not a spiritual experience. It was a nightmare. And then 3 months later, I went on vacation with my buddies, and I fell asleep, and I had an out-of-body experience.
Mm.
And I was reading about it, and it's like, I think it was DMT, like got kicked loose or
Released.
something.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it was nuts.
Yeah.
Like I was in a different dimension, and it was more real than reality.
Mm-hmm.
And I saw like, it was like in this movie theater in a seat. I'm going to try and make this quick because I hate drug stories. They're boring.
Why?
I don't know. But I was in a movie theater seat, and then the chair just rushed towards the screen and turned up this wall, and I went up the wall and then kept going straight.
Yeah.
And I was like there. And at the end of the like fucking, there was like these pillars, and at the end was like this bright light. And it just felt like something much, much bigger than me was there.
Right.
And I felt like super insignificant.
Mm-hmm.
And the thing asked me, did you do acid? And then I went, no, did you? And I woke up, and I was at my buddy. We were at my buddy's place in New Hampshire. And I, for half an hour, was panicked because I was like, why am I in New Hampshire?
Yeah.
I was just at this fucking weird-ass movie theater. And, yeah, it was fucking nuts, man. It was like the most vivid experience I've ever had in my life.
Yeah, but is that what made you do more drugs after that?
No, it
you're-
terrified me.
Really?
Yeah, I was 16.
Well, because you were so young, yeah. Because I didn't try
14.
psychedelics till like last year, and the first time, it's funny like that I did acid too. I had spirit guides, whoever like came down, and they're like, are you alone? And I was like, yeah. They're like, you didn't do this with any friend? And I'm like, no. And they're like, all right, we'll guide you through this. And I was like, okay. And then it was like an 8 hour. It sounds crazy, but it's real. It was like,
do you actually, hold on. You say this shit all the time.
Yeah.
Do you actually hear voices?
No. So it's like they are telepathically communicating with
What
me.
does that mean?
So
because that sounds like you're hearing voices. And that's an issue we got to address. And it's not a tarot card issue. It's a drug. It's a medication issue.
No, it's not.
Okay.
It's not. Because they communicate with me when I meditate now too. So like I don't even need drugs anymore. But so when I get into deep meditation.
Do you mean it's your intuition?
Yes, it's my intuition.
You think of that as an extra planar being?
But yes, because sometimes they tell me it's like I can't explain it. So it's like it kind of feels like, you know, when you have two magnets and you're holding them close together and it just goes and it just gets like close together and it
magnetized?
just has magnetized. You feel like that energy. So when I get into deep meditations, that's what happens like right in the center of my forehead, like where my third eye is. So like all of a sudden I'll be meditating and I get into a deep state, and then all of a sudden I feel like a magnetic pull, and then I feel like words are just trickling down and I'm just like receiving them. Okay. And they're not of my own, because it'll be stuff like they were talking to me about the Big Bang Theory one time. I was like, whoa, slow down. Like I did not do well in science. And they just give me information. It sounds wacky, but
it is wacky.
It's not, because
it doesn't sound wacky. It is wacky.
Right. But Nikola Tesla talks about it. So it's like all.
What word did you just say?
Nikola Tesla.
Oh, Nikola. Okay. I was concerned for a second.
No.
What kind of podcast is this, Monterey?
I was like, fun one.
All right, Tony Hinchcliffe.
No. So basically Nikola Tesla, he talks about it. So when you get into these deep meditative states, your brain just turns into a receptor. So it's like when people say like, oh, you got to meditate to get to peace because peace feels good. It's like, no. You have to meditate to get to peace because peace is a channel. Mm-hmm. You're dialing into peace, and then your antenna is sharp, and then you're just literally receiving messages, because it's the same way internet and, Wi-Fi, all this shit works. It's just like, fucking receivers collecting and whatever. And it's like, there's no wire connecting it. It's like.
No, but the difference is that's quantifiable.
Yeah, right now, but it's like people used to think that there was only our solar system in space, and then we had to get the tools and the resources to be like, oh, like actually there's all these other planets and galaxies. So it's like, just because we don't have the like actual tools to measure it, it doesn't mean that it doesn't exist. Just like we're like, oh, the Earth is flat, and then they're like, actually no, it's not.
And then we were like, actually yes, it is.
And then we're like, we take it back. You know what I mean? So it's like sometimes science has to catch up. Just because the science like isn't completely, have everything in tangible form, it doesn't mean that the existence of the thing isn't there.
Okay, sure.
Do you get what I'm saying?
I get what you're saying. Yeah, that's a big. That's what all of the 12-step programs are about.
About.
Well, you just said, yeah. The whole point is,
yeah.
If you got a bad drug addiction or you're an alcoholic to a point where it's like, whatever. The idea is the 12 steps is to clear away all your bullshit.
Yeah.
So that you can get new stuff to come in.
Downloads. Absolutely. And that's all it is it's like, people don't realize that. I forget the word. I think it's like neuroplasticity or something, but basically your brain, the material that it's made out of like changes every however many years. So like when you're in your youngest years, it's super impressionable. And so it's like because you're in those informative years, it has to be super impressionable so you can just take as much information as possible and program and like, be able to analyze information. So it's when you're young, also you have all your big, huge first experiences. And so your subconscious gets wired in that.
Right.
So if you constantly see trauma and your dad's beating your mom and, you live in a bad neighborhood and you guys are poor and you live out of fear, you know what I mean? Stress, like your whole entire brain was now wired off that.
Sure.
And then when you get older, because we're addicted to chemicals, because we're human beings and we're made out of like...
I'm not.
We're made out of chemicals. So when we have new chemicals come into our body, we're like, oh, what's that? What's that? And they give us stimulation, whether it's sugar, whether it's a chemical from love, whether it's a chemical from pleasure from television. It's like we release chemicals. So whatever chemicals you release when you were younger, you're addicted to that now. So now when you're older and you're like, why do I always get in toxic relationships? Why do I always like can't keep a job? Like what? It's like, oh, because when you were younger, those were the first chemicals that were released.
Yeah, people say that shit, but I have been in many a toxic relationship.
Yeah.
I had a perfectly fine childhood. It was lovely.
No. You had a perfectly fine childhood, but it does not mean that there were environments. You could have been around your aunt and your uncle at a very informative period, and they used to fight. And
None of that. I swear to God.
You don't know that.
I do know that. I was there.
You remember every single thing from your childhood. I guarantee you, if you did hypnotherapy, where all these like suppressed memories like come out, you'd be like, oh shit, like there was this one time when my school teacher came into school crying about a divorce and I felt bad for her. Like there'll be something. Like if you
I don't know about that. I hate that shit because it's always people going like, it feels like a way to, I went to a therapist for a while when I was dating a psycho, and he was like, well, let's talk about your childhood. And we kept doing it. I was like, dude, nothing happened. He's like, well, it might be something you don't remember. I'm like, then what's the point in talking about this?
Well, because
what good is that going to do if I don't fucking remember it?
But that's the thing, is because memories, whether like you're consciously aware of it or not, you still have it inside of you. So the point is to do hypnotherapy, to do meditation, so these suppressed memories can be released. Yeah.
Maybe.
Yeah.
Okay.
Rob, you're fucked up. Yeah.
I'm aware, but I have no reason for it. It's more frustrating.
Well,
I know all of my friends who are fucked up, their parents suck, or, you know, they got fucking touched in a McDonald's. And I just like doing cool shit.
Yeah. Did you have
I just like having fun, baby.
Well, that could be something like it could be something simple too. It could be something like where your mom and your dad didn't give you affection when you were a baby. Like, you know what I mean? Like, you don't know because you don't have those memories. What good does that do me, knowing that? Because you're like,
how do you change that?
I crave attention, because you go, okay, like I crave attention because I was never physically like given love when I was younger. So now the way I crave love is to have attention by people who I value important to me.
Yeah, maybe. I don't know. Have you seen Requiem for a Dream? Mm-hmm. This is way worse. So around 2006, everyone in the Northeast started doing OxyContin. Yeah. Because it's the greatest thing in the world. Mm. And we all started doing it. It was fun for a while. And then it's opiates, right? It's heroin. But it's expensive heroin. And after a while, what happens is when you start doing it enough, you need to get fucked up, but you can't afford it. Because like you need 80 milligrams to get fucked up. Right. And it's $1 a milligram. And you need multiples of those a day. So it's a lot of money. Right. Or you can get heroin for $10 and be high the whole day. Wow. So it's just financially responsible to do heroin. Right. And that's what happened to this kid. A lot of people. A lot of us got sober. Some of us didn't. He did not. And so this isn't a funny story. No, it's okay. I mean, I think it's funny because it's insane. Yeah. He was the nicest kid I ever met. And for real, I'm not just saying that. But he just kept doing heroin, and we all kind of moved on with our lives, and he sort of became homeless, yada, yada, yada. And then he was apparently dating some prostitute. And the story goes, we don't know for sure, but she gave him AIDS or HIV. Jesus. And then he murdered her. And then he drove to a gas station covered in blood. And people there were like, what the fuck is going on? And he had a knife still, and he started stabbing himself. Oh, my God. And people wrestled the knife away from him. And then he ran into traffic, and he got hit by like 4 cars before he died. Wow. Pretty crazy, right? That's insane. I know. And how old were you? Guy. This was like 4 years ago. This was 4 years ago so this was someone that you used to party with, but that part happened 4 years ago. Yeah. Yeah, wow. He never stopped, so that's what happens. Wow. The heroin's fucking stupid. That's insane. Yeah, a lot of my brother's friends died on a kid that I grew up with, which sounds really bad. We used to call him Mental John Boy. Because Mental John Boy? His nickname was John Boy, and he would like have these anger fits, but we were younger, so we didn't like know, but we would like tease him. We're like, oh, like you're mental. And then we'd be like, Mental John Boy, mental. I'm sure that helped with his anger fits. Because we thought it was a fun game, because then he would like chase us with like a hockey stick or like a giant branch outside or like a belt, and then it was just like, everybody run from John Boy before he beats you. And it was just good old fashioned fun. Yeah, it was just a rush. Like on the handicap kid till he tries to beat you.
but then he died of a heroin overdose.
Yeah, it's not a cool drug.
Yeah, it's sad.
Uh-huh.
It's really sad.
It's the greatest thing in the world.
But like, you've done heroin?
Yeah.
What does
times.
it feel like compared to other drugs? Like, why is everybody so addicted to it?
You should do it once.
No.
Why?
No, absolutely not. Because
Do
my
it
dad
once
was a
and
drug
then
addict.
never, ever, ever, ever do it again.
No, that sounds scary.
Ever.
I'm not gonna do it.
It's the best feeling in the universe.
Heroin.
I can't explain it. We did painkillers, which is the same shit, but heroin's just like
Tell me
stronger.
what it feels like. You
I
did
didn't
it with
shoot
a
it,
needle.
I snorted it.
Okay, so when you snort it, tell me exactly from
I
that
was
moment.
drunk. We were 20. I was drunk at a bar that let us drink. I was like 15 beers drunk, like very drunk. And I was with this kid who's a heroin addict, like a full-time heroin addict. He was like, "You want to get heroin?" I was like, "Yeah, definitely. We should do that for sure." And we drove into Hartford, where we were in Harvard, and we drove into the shitty part. And he got heroin. He got 4 bags of heroin. And I was like, "How much?"
What did it look like?
It's a little tiny bag, like where you used to keep weed in, you know. But it's
like what color is
dark
it?
brown powder.
I think my dad did heroin.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah.
And I was like, "How much do I do?" And he was like, "I do 2 bags." And I was like, "Okay, I'll do that."
Yeah.
And he was like a full-blown junkie, so I did way too much.
Wow.
And then I got home and
No. You're not explaining to me how it felt. So you
I will.
snorted it, and then you were like,
I will explain.
okay.
It hits you immediately, feels great. But I was home on my back in my backyard talking to some girl on the phone, lying to some girl, you know. And
So stupid.
what? And I was my parents have steps made out of stone.
Yeah.
And there's 12 of them. And I was on the phone with her, and I fell down the steps, and I smashed my head on the pavement, and it was the best moment of my life. That's how good heroin feels.
Wow.
I picked my head off the ground. I was bleeding everywhere, and I was like, "This is amazing."
Wow.
It's just like a feeling of
But like you feel like what? Like so like it comes through your body and you feel like, oh, my physical body doesn't exist anymore. I feel light as a feather.
you know when
like,
you're about to fall asleep, how nice
Yeah.
that feels? It's like that times 100.
I get nightmares, so that doesn't really sleeping doesn't feel that good for me.
Okay, well then
All my trauma comes out and they try to get me.
I get it.
Before I fall asleep.
it's like an orgasm, I guess then. But
Oh.
not like
Like a full body orgasm.
yeah, it's just the shit.
Okay. So
You've taken drugs. Mushrooms makes you feel like euphoric, right?
yeah.
It's like that, but it's much stronger, and yeah, it's good.
Yeah. It's magic.
It's pretty great.
Yeah. Okay.
If
Paul-
it were something you could do regularly and not die
and
from.
not die. Yeah. How many minutes do I have? So I want to see where we're at. I'm going to start. 30. Okay. So I'm going to start reading your cards now. And we'll see what the angels, do you see? These are angel cards. These are fairy cards. And these are tarot cards.
I'm going to tell you something, and I'm open to this. I just had a girl do this for me.
Oh, yeah.
She was new to it,
Okay.
and it was like 100% wrong. But I am open,
Yeah. Okay. Open your.
and I'm holding your rock.
Yeah. It's a crystal. Okay. Well, why don't you tell us about your sketch show as I'm flipping these cards over?
Our sketch show? Is that what you said?
Yeah.
Oh, why
Red.
did you look at me all weird?
Oh, because you looked at me all weird. I thought.
No, I didn't hear you.
Oh.
It's called the Red Rob Roy Show. It's on Amazon, and it's me and my friends who made dumb sketches. We convinced some idiot to pay for it. Episode 1's out. We're cutting episode 2, and then we're gonna be shooting episode 3. If you know any like girl comic actors, let me know. You know what I mean? They want to do sketch comedy and get paid for it.
Why wouldn't you ask me?
Well, because that was the fucking joke. Oh, I got the gay unicorn?
Isn't it beautiful? Okay. Well, you definitely got molested at some point in your
Can I
life. that
do
you don't
you
remember.
first based on what these look like?
Yeah.
All right,
do.
tell me how right
Okay.
I am.
Okay.
I don't want to fuck this up, though.
Okay.
All right, so the first card, as we all know, is the Merchant of Venice.
Mm-hmm.
You fancy yourself a world traveler. In your heart, you've never thought you belonged in the state you came from.
Yeah.
Am I right so far?
No.
What?
No.
You don't think you're a world traveler who didn't belong in Buffalo, New York?
You're so yeah, but that's just you going off of me. That's not you going off of this.
What are you going to do?
I'm gonna say what they mean.
I'm doing that too. It's a
Okay,
Merchant of
keep
Venice
going.
card.
Uh-huh.
You feel like a world-weary traveler. You feel like an old soul who's seen it all, but you're back now to spread peace. The next one is a lady in bondage because you're a whore.
Okay.
It means you like getting tied up and publicly humiliated. That's your kink. It's fine.
No, I've never been tied up, and I never want
That's
to be
not what
tied
I've
up.
heard from so many people.
Ew, you're right.
There's a website.
You're so stupid.
Monterey. It's called
Okay.
Only Monterey's.
No,
It's very cheap, too, $1 a month. The next one is a cobbler. You're a jokesmith. As we all know, you cobble your jokes together. And then the last one is a harp lady, because you think fairies are real.
Mm-hmm.
But that's 100% right.
I mean,
and I just made it up.
Yeah,
So.
it's pretty accurate. Okay, so let me tell you what you got going on here. Okay. So one, they're trying to say that. So when I say they, I'm talking about like the cards and spirits who are circling.
I thought you
around
meant black people. We don't say that nowadays, but that's fine.
No. Okay. So basically, what they're saying is like, all right. So you are trying to reach success, right? So that's this card. You're trying to reach success, and through you trying to reach.
Wait, quick question. I want to interrupt you again.
Yeah.
How do you know which order to read them in?
You start here.
So why are you going to that one?
Well, because it tells a story.
So
So
you don't start there?
No, I am starting here, but it's like I'm gonna. So this is the end of the story. This is you trying to reach to success.
You're doing a Tarantino.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. You know what? I'm gonna work. I'm gonna put this out. I'm gonna work with Quentin Tarantino one day. I have this great script idea. Whatever. Anyway.
Okay, good. I'm sure he loves when other people write scripts for him.
Well, we're gonna work on it together.
The known auteur.
Yeah.
Quentin Tarantino loves when other people write scripts.
No,
for him.
he's gonna work on my project. He's gonna help me produce it.
Oh,
He's
okay.
gonna, yeah. I'm not writing a script for him. He's just gonna believe in it, and he's like, dude, I want to help you
Sexy
produce
Ninja
it.
Girls? He loves that shit.
Is it Sexy Ninja Girls? No, but it's.
You want to sell it? I would recommend putting that in.
It's definitely there's definitely women in it, and it's definitely.
Yeah, maybe not.
You're so stupid.
Why?
Rob's getting nervous. Okay, so you're trying to reach success, right? And through you trying to reach success is they're telling you that you have to let go of old patterns and old cycles. So your old patterns and old cycles is that you constantly always feel stuck. That's what the bondage and all that stuff means. It's like feeling tied up, feeling stuck, feeling like you're not prevailing, feeling like you're not moving on, like you're just stuck on you're plateauing. Plateauing, that's what that means, right?
Yep.
Okay, because I was like, fuck. Okay. There's so many times where I look back of clips of me on podcasts and I'm like, why didn't anybody tell me that that's
Just
not
say
what
it
that word
confidently,
meant?
Nobody will notice.
No.
That's how I live my life.
Yeah. There's been
Pretty much
times where I
everything.
get corrected and people are like, how long have you been saying that for?
Well, give me an example.
Like I was saying alumni instead of alumni.
Alumni?
Alumni. That sounds right.
No, that's wild.
But I never went to college, so I was like, there's no reason for me to be saying alumni. So it's never like it was a word I was saying a lot. But
How do you say aluminum?
aluminum. But
You know how the British say it?
aluminium.
Aluminium.
Yeah.
So much cooler.
My manager was British. The guy that shot himself in the head. Anyway, so when blah blah blah. I say words wrong all the time, so catch me. Okay, so basically they're saying that one of like the major ways that like you're gonna have a breakthrough is if you know that like you actually have to be like the person to like create your own like opportunities, because like a lot of people like in LA or the city or like when they're trying to have success, they always like are waiting for something to happen for them, or they're waiting for an opportunity, or they need someone to be like, hey man, like you got it, and then a door is going to be open. But they're trying to tell you that it's like, no, like you actually have to. That's literally that guy that's like making the shit that he's like hanging up the pentacles. And they're saying like once you start making your own stuff, like then you're gonna start having like this like moment where a bunch of ideas and like creativity just start coming to you. A lot of the times like you're having creative blocks is because you're having like desire and like you want your wishes to be fulfilled like through other people, and that's actually giving you a creative block. When you start making your own things, you're gonna open up whatever pathway in your brain to where your creativity just starts to like flow out, where you're like, oh dude, like I have a great, I'm just saying, I know you already have a podcast, but I'm like, oh, I have a great podcast idea. Or I have more ideas for like other sketches, or like, oh, I have a way for us to like make money on Patreon, or like I have whatever it is. It's just like once you start to like put the initial foot like forward of doing your own shit, then your mental and your creativity is going to follow behind that. And they're saying like, because I know you worry about money, but that's like when you're going to start to have, that's like when the money's going to start to like come through. It's not, and that's honestly like a lot of people, like they don't realize why everyone always says it's like all the answers are within. And that sounds really stupid. It's like, cool. But it's like, no, it's just saying that it's like all the desires or all the dreams or all the goals that you have, if you just sit and meditate with yourself, they're saying that like you will get the intuition or the inspiration or the ideas to move forward. It's not saying like you are love in one, like go off. It's like, no, like if you don't know how to, say you were raped and you're like, I don't know how to heal from my rape, and you're just trying these different therapies and you're trying all these different yoga poses, or say, you know, you're trying to get money and success. It's like people look outwards constantly and they're like, no, like we'll tell you how if you just sit in silence with yourself and you listen to your intuition, like we'll direct you.
Fair enough. And
then, you do need to make somewhat of a spiritual connection. It doesn't have to be like you have to be this person who has all these crystals, or you have, you know, you're going to all these meetings or whatever, but it's like, it's not so much like the practice, it's the actual like faith and like trust in something, because like you don't have like faith and trust in a lot of things, like whether it's love or whether it's spirituality or whether it's people or whether it's justice. Like you don't have a lot of like faith and trust in things. And
what you're saying is I gotta have faith.
Yeah, oh no.
Well, gotta have faith. Man. Sorry.
But yeah, you do. You have to have faith, because they're like, if you have faith in like one thing, like let it be having faith in like yourself and in your power and in your ability, because then it's like that's the best thing to have faith is like in knowing like, okay, like it's gonna work out, like it's gonna happen. But if you keep like questioning it all the time, then it's like, well, I said this before, but it's like that's like being in a relationship. If someone was constantly questioning you, like, do you love me? Do you love me? You'd be like, fuck, yes, stop. Like, you're so annoying. And like, that's how the universe works too. So if you're like, am I going to be okay? Like, am I going to have money? Am I going to get a TV credit? Am I going to get this? They're like, oh my God, stop. Yes. Like, just fucking chill and just like enjoy the process and follow your peace and what feels good, and like everything will work out. But we live in fear and we make bad decisions based off fear, and then shit doesn't work out and we're like, what the fuck? And it's like, it's all internal, man. Mm-hmm. Do you get it?
It's my favorite kind of porn too.
Internal porn?
All internal.
Oh, all internal.
It's a website.
I only watch RedTube because it's free.
For what?
RedTube.
What did you? Oh, because it's free.
Yeah, because it's free.
It's the same thing as YouPorn or Pornhub, right?
Yeah, I remember I was trying to say, I was like dating someone. I was like, let's get a RedTube. But I was trying to say, let's get a Redbox, like to go. Yeah, and I was like, let's just get a RedTube. And he was like, what? And I was like, RedTube. Like, let's just do
you, me, RedTube. Yeah. That's funny.
He's like, do you know what you're saying? And I was like, here's the thing. I don't watch porn. I'm a girl.
Girls do watch porn, lots of it.
Yeah, no, for sure. And we're like more picky when we like pick our porn. So it's like it takes me way longer. It like takes me like 25 minutes to like an hour sometimes to like pick the porn that like I'll watch.
What do you mean? You are browsing? Are you rubbing your boobs or no?
No.
That's how girls masturbate, right?
Yeah, basically.
Just rub their boobies.
Yeah, while we put on lipstick. Yeah.
Wait, you don't browse while jerking off?
No.
What a waste of time.
I know. Well, that's why I use my imagination a lot, because I'm just like, ugh, because I don't feel like looking up the thing that I want.
So you'll just find one porno and then watch it?
Yeah, I will. Like, well, I'll click through. Like, I'll watch.
No, I know, but you find one you like and you're just staying with that one?
That's what I'm saying. I'll watch a couple of them, but they're not. I'm just like, this is not gonna do it. She doesn't like it. And then I'm like, and then finally I find the video. I'm like, okay, it has all the stuff that I want, and then I'll masturbate to it.
And you just stay with that video?
Yeah, because
that's crazy.
I can come very fast, so I'm just like, all right. It's
I
like
watch
30
probably
seconds.
10,000 porns when I'm watching video. You just click through all of them. while you're jerking off.
No. Yeah, but it's like women like we're more like visually, you know, we need to be stimulated visually in like very specific ways. Like, and I have to make sure the girl, it's stupid, but it's like I need to make sure that I feel like she likes it. Cause I'm like, I know.
Yeah, I get that. That's the same for guys.
Yeah.
I can't watch porn where it's like clearly she's like, man, faking it.
Well, right, exactly. Because then you're like, we know how many times we've had sex where like, I'm not enjoying this. So it's like, if you feel like she's not enjoying it, then I'm like, I can't. And
yeah.
That's
strange. What are your prerequisites?
What are
besides the girl needing to enjoy it?
I don't like anything that's
Black
like.
eye. We know that.
You're so stupid.
Why?
You're so dumb.
What's the big deal?
I don't like the color of white penises like in porns.
In porns? Why?
Because it just looks like a Band-Aid or something. It just like.
So it was black. It is black.
Well, I think the contrast looks like it looks better.
Yeah,
like the contrast of like
hot.
the black and the white. Well, it just one is this and one is that, so it physically looks better.
What about
to
black
me.
lady, white guy?
Yeah. I mean, well, the girl. It sounds bad, but like I need to think her vagina's pretty. I have to think her vagina's.
Black women's vaginas are pretty?
No, I'm saying like
Monterey doesn't think black women's vaginas are pretty.
No, I'm saying that you were asking about my prerequisites. So it's like it has to be a pretty vagina.
What's a pretty vagina to you? A lot of lips or no lips?
No, just I don't know, just like pretty. Like,
what does that mean?
So I don't like when it's like if they have like hair and it's all scraggly or like they have like a lot of like. The inside of the vagina is just like kind of sloppy and coming out a lot.
Really?
Yeah, I don't like that.
That's the best part.
No, it needs to be. I was like, as I'm looking at these fairy cards talking about the inside of women's vaginas, and then I don't like. I would like them to be in shape, but it's just like because that's what I like. You know what I mean? Like we're all. Yeah. I'm not going for body positivity. I'm going for like what is like stimulating to me.
Sure.
So
I get it.
Yeah.
It's a lot of needs.
Yeah, that's it. You know, sometimes I like when they kiss. I do. Because
really?
It makes me feel like they like each other.
That's fun.
Yeah. There's like romance one, but then I don't like when they're high quality because then it makes it feel like it's very fake. Like if it looks like more amateur.
Amateur's fun. Yeah, it seems more realistic.
Yeah. But then if it's like just like a webcam, like, so yeah, it's very specific. Anyway, what your fairies are trying to tell you. So these are the fairy cards, like these three. So you got the sexuality card, which is either well, no, when that comes up, that's not a good thing.
What do you mean?
That's
a fucking straight smash.
You're so stupid. That means that there is an issue with your sexuality. So it could mean that
what, I'm gay?
Yes.
This is telling me I'm gay?
Yeah. You're done.
Oh, God.
It's right next to this card. You tell me that doesn't mean
terrible news. That is the gayest card I've ever seen. It's a unicorn in front of a rainbow
in front of a waterfall.
And the waterfall is made out of cum.
No, but so sexuality is like either that you're abusing it or that you
just know me.
Okay, but
these cards are fucking stupid.
No.
You could just tell me these things that I've told you in confidence.
But we didn't
and
get
that we're now pretending as a reading in front of the camera. Things that I've told you in person to not tell others.
Wait, you didn't tell me about this stuff. This is just
you
what
know
the cards
that.
mean, though.
No, they don't.
Yes, they do. That's what they mean. And sexuality, I'm going to tell you the 3 different meanings. This is what the cards mean. And I can't help that you pulled these cards.
I didn't. You did.
Well, I can't help that.
You drew the cards. And then made up a story based on our history.
No, this is the truth.
This one looks like you're from
Rob.
Connecticut?
Yeah, this one looks like
you dated a blonde girl who was a sociopath about 2 years ago?
You're so stupid. Sexuality, are you gay or are you abusing sexuality or...
What if I'm abusing gay guy? Is that bad? Because I've been doing that for years. I'm like that gay guy that hates himself, you know what I mean? Like I'll fuck a gay dude and then I'll hate myself and I'll go downtown and beat up some gay guy, you know, to feel better.
Downtown is so far. You live in the valley.
Yeah, I don't want it traced back to me.
Do you take the red line or do you drive?
Unicycle. Just to really keep in line with the gayness.
With the gayness. So this way, like they don't see you creeping up. They think that you're one
like,
of them.
oh, this is a friend of mine because he's on a unicycle.
Yeah.
And I beat the shit out of him.
Wow.
Okay.
Did you get molested too? That sexuality can also mean like you were sexually abused. I think you were fondled as a kid. I really do.
I wouldn't call it molestation. Like it was a game my uncle and I would play called hide his penis in my fucking armpit. It's not even sexual, it just tickled.
You're so stupid. No, did your uncle touch you?
No.
Nobody touched you.
Do you know how much easier my life would be if I had a fucking
story?
A lame ass I got molested story to fall back on as to why I'm a fucking psychopath? Do you know how much better things would be that I could point an arrow at? Well, that's why I tried to drink myself to death.
Have you ever seen Perks of Being a Wallflower?
No.
Oh, his like aunt was like molesting him, and then she died in a car accident. And he was like, "Damn, I miss her, but also she was molesting me, so I kind of have guilt for like being happy that she died."
I got it.
I think that's your story.
No, it's not.
Just kidding.
I would love it to be.
I think that movie was written about you.
I've had I had a couple gay experiences.
Like when you were little, like you put your mouth on their penises and then they gave you candy?
No candy, but me and my buddy would I don't remember how old I was. I was like 20, 21. No, you know, when you're a little kid.
Yeah.
Dude, when you're a boy, you're like starting to get horny.
Yeah.
It's a nightmare. You
Because
just have no
why?
way. You don't know how to jerk off yet. It's
Oh.
like painful.
Yeah, I mean, we go through this. I humped pillows since
But
I
you
was
have yours is weirder
like
than most girls.
Oh, I used to like hump the stuffing out of like stuffed animals.
Hump the stuffing out. Yeah, that's that's trauma, right? In sex, you're using that to like mask some type of fucking pain.
What are you saying? Like I was using humping?
Yeah, sex.
Yeah, of course. Well, yeah, I was like, most kids, not all kids, but it's like some kids like naturally discover it. But it's like, yeah, if you're like humping things and like getting off as a kid, it's like because you were sexually abused.
That's not true. You know what I used to do is my aunt had Playboys, and I would steal them and I'd rub my dick on the pages, like of the naked ladies.
Yeah,
it was
but
fun.
you just did.
Yeah, I know how to jerk off or anything, so I just rub my dick on it like an eraser. Yeah.
Oh, okay. I remember the first time I saw a magazine, like porn thing or whatever. It was before I because I used to watch like Skinamax movies and stuff when I was a kid, but I did not know that was not real porn until I was older.
Yeah, you don't see anything in that.
Well, right. But it's like, I remember I went to a party with like a bunch of people. I was like 18. Yeah, I was like 18, 19. And they were they had like the porn like satellite channels and they were showing like the penis and the vagina. And I was like, whoa, okay, hardcore.
Yeah.
And they're like, no, this is porn. I was like, yeah, but like usually there's like, there's like a guy and a girl and they're like
Curtains
kissing.
blowing.
And I was like, there's like a scene. And they're like, no, that's not real porn. They're like the stuff on Cinemax. And I was like, yeah, they're like, Monterey, they're not actually having sex. And I was like, what?
Whoa.
So I was humping my pillow to that for like years. And I was
sex
like,
to me.
yeah.
I remember the first time I saw a vagina, like actually saw it.
Yeah.
That blew my fucking mind.
Like your mom's or like who did you
No.
see? No, I meant like for real. Like, did you shower with your mom when you were younger?
No.
When you were
I remember one
older?
time I did, but she had I don't want to talk about my mom. I remember the first time like seeing a pussy, like a real pussy.
Yeah.
Like all of it. And it was like,
Because you were about to have sex, or why
No, it
did
was
you
like
see a
porn or
pussy?
something.
Oh, I thought you meant in person.
And then for like the next week, I was just like, look at every woman and be like, she's got one of those. It blew my fucking mind.
Underneath that,
Because women are pretty.
yeah,
And vaginas are notoriously not aesthetically pleasing right away. As a child, it takes a minute to digest, like, wine. You don't like it right away.
yeah,
And then you develop a palate for it.
that's funny.
And it made it so much hotter because girls are so pretty and vaginas are crazy looking. And like the mix match of that just fucking blew my mind.
So how old were you when you saw that vagina?
Oh, probably like 10, 11.
And it was in a porn?
Yeah.
Yeah. And did she have hair?
No.
No. Okay.
Yeah.
And then you were like, and then what the first time you saw a vagina when you were having sex?
The first time I had sex, I was drunk and it was dark, so I didn't see it.
But like touching it, was it weird? Where you're like, oh, okay.
Yeah, you don't know
like,
what it's going to be like
Yeah.
as a dude. You have no concept of what it'll possibly feel like.
And what were you like, oh my God, like, what did you think?
Yeah, it was great.
Yeah.
I was all about it right away.
Yeah.
It was, how old was I?
But you were
I
like,
remember the first
it's
one.
sticky. Like you weren't like,
No, I liked it. I was in. It was, yeah, my first girlfriend, sort of. And, I lost my virginity in an abandoned house.
Perfect. That sounds like you did heroin for sure.
Yeah. Well, we were just drinking.
Yeah.
But yeah, vaginas are great. But the first time you see one, you're like, ugh, what the fuck is this?
You start yelling at it.
It was crazy.
Have you ever saw a vagina like when you were about to, be physical with a woman and it made you like change your mind?
No. Even if I did, I couldn't do that.
Because
Women can do that because you guys are fucking soulless. But a
Yeah.
man is too nice because we know how delicate you are.
Yeah.
So I couldn't.
But you've been in a situation where you wanted to change your mind and not have sex with the
Not
person.
necessarily because of her pussy, but there was
Yeah.
one girl. This was a couple years ago. We were hanging out here, and she was very pretty, and we were
Yeah.
like, we kissed and stuff. And the first time we really made out, it turned out that and this is not her fault, and I'm not blaming her,
Yeah.
but it turned out she had like lost a lot of weight, so she had.
I
A
think
bunch
you're gonna
of,
say teeth. I was like,
That's
Yeah.
funny. Yeah, so she had like a bunch of excess skin,
uh-huh.
and it was just like really surprising and
Oh.
weird feeling.
You were trying to like move it or like.
Yeah, it was just like not what I expected at all. And then I had sex with her because I felt bad, and I
Mm.
pretended to come, and I didn't.
Oh no.
Yeah, what are you gonna do? She should have warned me. Like, I get that that's a thing,
Yeah.
and I'm sure that's very issue for her.
Nerve-wracking and vulnerable.
Yeah, but
and
you gotta be like, hey, listen, here's the
here's
the
deal.
skinny on my fat.
Yeah. That's what I tell guys. I'm like, listen, when I drink, I will bring up the fact that you have a mom and a dad and how I'm very jealous of you that your parents bought you a laptop for your birthday.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Is that still a thing?
Yeah. I'm like, I will.
When do you think you're gonna get over that?
No, I mean, I'm fine with it now, but I that's why I just try not to take shots of tequila because it's like I'll probably fight your mom,
Okay, so whenever you drink, your trauma comes back. So you haven't dealt with it at all, is what you're telling me?
No, I have
And
dealt.
crystals and tarot cards are fucking stupid. You just do
No.
acid because you're a drug addict.
You're
None
so,
of this is real.
You're so
Sprayed me
stupid.
with fucking guava juice or
It's
something.
not
Is that literally
guava.
just pulped up mangoes?
No, I made a spell potion and it's made.
Please tell me there's none of you in that.
I mean, like not like urine. You're not counting like urine.
Any
right?
of it.
Yeah, there's like urine, but it's like it's.
Wait.
It's
What?
urine that's like been put in the sunlight for like 3
You're
Just
joking.
kidding.
Because you're like, I would have believed it if you were like, well, my eyelashes and some of my hair.
No, but it's like, I had to set out all these herbs and then I had to like release like their oils and then I had to
Do you think that a lot of this is because you have a shitty
childhood? Oh, for sure. I was like,
Do you feel like it helps you?
yeah, I feel like
good.
magic
That's all
needs to
that
be
matters.
real because I'm like, if not, then all that shit happened to me for no reason.
Well, nothing happens for no reason.
Right.
Trauma is brutal because it's like,
Yeah.
it's your problem, but it's not your fault.
Right.
And that's hard to deal with.
For
'Cause
sure.
You got no one to, you can blame people for the rest of your life and never deal with it, and you're still the one affected.
Yeah.
And at least
But I
you're trying
really
to
do
deal
talk
with
to
it.
dead people.
Yeah, okay.
I'm gonna put up the screenshots like of my room, like everybody, like of all these different people that I've
Yeah, but it's
communicated
girls
with.
in LA you're talking to, and they're all
Yeah, but how
trying
would
to be
I know?
actresses and alone. So
You're so stupid.
yeah, sure, that's real. Oh my god, can we be friends?
No, but it
Please,
was
Monterey,
like
can we be friends?
with my roommate. It was
all
like
the girl comics in LA look up to you because you're not a fucking. I don't know. You're more direct, so they're like, they think you're their queen. I
no.
blame you for so many bad punchline deliveries.
Wait, what? That
Yeah.
doesn't. That makes me what?
You're very funny, and I love your comedy, and I think you're one of the better people doing it. But you have a cadence that has been copied by so many girls, and it
Oh.
drives me fucking insane.
What is the cadence?
It's you're talking, and then you'll be like, so anyway, I'm at the store, and like, don't worry about it. But okay, so and all the girls
that
do that
little
now.
side voice. Yeah.
Mhm. And
Oh,
I
do they?
hate it.
Oh, well, sorry, I'm just being my fucking self, okay? Being an inspiration. But no, I didn't know that. But I think also that's kind of how a lot of women just naturally talk because it's kind of like our inside voice, like that's
how you
always
naturally
judging
talk.
us. Yeah.
But I don't know that that's true for these broads.
Well, I think a lot of the times when you first start stand up, like when you watch other
Yeah, that's
people,
true.
you like them and you're like, oh, and then you just,
It doesn't
You-
make sitting through it any easier for me. But yes,
Okay.
you're right.
well, thank you for that kind of compliment. Okay. Are we narrowing down how much time? 4 minutes? Okay, perfect. So I'm going to say the last thing that your soul, your angel cards, what they want you to know. See, like this is the energy card
Mm-hmm.
and this is the learning card. So
Mhm.
this means that you're actually stupid. So you have a learning
This card means
disability.
you're fucking dumb.
Yeah, you are one of the dumbest people I've ever talked
That's fair.
to.
That I would believe.
Yeah, they just put, there's just a book there to be like, hey, like, get involved with that.
I did my IQ test the other day.
Yeah.
30.
Out of, what is it, out of like 160?
30 is like a turtle.
Oh, but what is the number out of?
You don't know what your IQ is? You never did it?
No, I'm not.
Oh, I don't know.
Conceited.
A lot of people have done it.
Oh.
Retarded is 70.
Oh.
Average is 100 to 120. And then above that is above average.
Oh, okay.
Like Albert Einstein was 160.
Yeah, I'm probably like a 172 or something.
No.
Yeah. I talk to dead people.
Mm-hmm.
We're gonna find out who that dead person is, or I'm cutting this.
I mean, you might have to because you're not even close.
And then the other thing is energy. So you are like, you're a pain in the ass to like be around. You have bad energy.
Learning actually mean I'm dumb?
No. Learning means like
energy. How are you going to take energy and make it negative? This is just you deciding.
No, this is exactly because they have trusted my insights. My spirits are like, hey, say what you want, Monterey, because what you
this should
have.
work.
Yeah.
What does the energy card mean without your input?
Okay, well, let me tell you what the actual learning card means. Learning means that you think that learning just means like hearing information, and actually learning means applying the information that you already know and
That's
have.
called wisdom.
Yeah.
Okay.
So that's what they're telling you to do.
Gotcha.
You have inner wisdom.
That's
and
fair.
You don't fucking use
Valid.
it. And energy, they're saying that, so this is like believing that everything like on a subatomic level is atoms and molecules. And so like that's
believing that?
No.
This card is believing
that there's
science. Atoms.
Yeah. No, but that there's everything is energy exists, like whether you don't do that. Energy exists whether you, an attractive woman just walked by and he's making eyes at her body.
Disrespectful. Hot. I don't know what to tell you. It's not my fault.
I know, but don't make it
unprofessional podcasting, okay? Don't walk through being all hot.
You're so stupid.
Expect me to listen to you ramble about these fucking cards.
The energy means that you have to know that it's like whether you believe in it or not, it exists. So what you can do is you can tap into energy by manipulating energy. So how you manipulate energy is power of thoughts.
Super Saiyan. Oh, power of thoughts.
Power of thoughts, because our thoughts.
THOTS.
They're
little. One just walked through.
They're little. It's a vibration. So your thought is a vibration. So everything starts at a vibration. And then from there, you try to like manifest it into like physical things. So how do you do that? You go into meditation.
Okay,
and you
meditate more. I get it.
Yeah, you meditate and then you manifest the things that you want by thinking of them and then constantly thinking of them. And then you start making the right decisions and you apply the wisdom that you already know. And when you do that, then things start to tangibly like manifest.
That's all solid advice. I agree with you.
That's such good advice.
It's very good advice.
You're just,
we didn't need the fucking cards for that.
Yeah, we did, because then you wouldn't believe me.
You're right. The pictures, now I believe you.
Yeah, if I just said, hey, Rob, this is what you need to know, you'd be like, Monterey, you'd be like, you yell about your rape every 3 days. You're like, so you don't have it together. So
every 3 days is actually a huge improvement.
I know.
It's a huge improvement.
There's so many times when my ex, I'm like, don't do it. I'm like, but I want to.
The first
I really do.
I want to.
Yeah, it's an argument every time.
That's funny. The first time I talked to you, I was like, hey, what's up? And you're like, I'm Monterey. I got raped, so anyways. I've been raped a bunch of times. The point is, no, the first time I talked to you, you said, you're like, oh, good set. And I was like, thanks. I'm not going to fuck you. No. I said, hey, that was funny. And you went, what do you want me to suck your dick now? And I was like, I mean, is that on the table?
No, because I had just started comedy and like so many guys, like they would be like, hey, good stuff. And I'd be like, thank you. And then they'd be like, how long have you been doing good? It was just a way for them to like keep talking to me. And then they would ask me out like the next day, and then they would be assholes to me like when I said no. And so I was just like very like,
to be
don't
fair,
flirt
that's
with me.
exactly what was going to happen. So
exactly. Yeah. And then we became roommates with,
Yeah, and I learned how lucky I was to not have had that experience.
Oh, man. Okay, we were both toxic. Thank you very much.
Yeah, I was there. Yeah. I was Sweden. It was an impartial party.
You almost had to call the cops.
There's a couple of times where I was late in the night, and I was like, am I going to have to go in there and help Matt kick her ass? I shouldn't have said it.
Oh, fuck. I will
You can
cut
bleep
that
it.
out.
Bleep it.
Yeah, yeah.
Cut it out.
Yeah, I'll bleep it. Well, that is our episode of the Shamic today. And thanks again. Do you want to plug your social media?
Yes. Rob Pug Comic, the Red Rob Roy Show, and No Charisma Podcast. Go watch the fucking show on Amazon because we need people to so that they'll keep giving us money. The Red Rob Roy Show on
Amazon Prime.
Amazon Prime.
Hell yeah. All right. This was an episode of the Shamic Podcast. And if you like it, please, tell all your friends, like, share, subscribe, leave a comment. And I will see you guys next week. Thank you so much.
Bye.